So trying to start Amazon FBA in 2025 can be a bit overwhelming, mainly because of the amount of steps and methods out there. It's confusing and hard to even know where to get started, which is the reason why in this video, I'm gonna answer the most common asked questions by you guys in my previous video comment sections. And so in this video, hopefully I'll answer all of them. If I do miss out any, then you can leave them in the comment section and I will answer in the next one, because this is actually episode 4 of this series that I do on this channel, where I already have the first 3 episodes. You can check out the playlist here or here. In that, I've also answered questions, so maybe that question you have might have been answered in that, so you can check that out after this video. But let's just get started with this video. There are 20 questions that I'm going to answer. The first one is, how do I get ungated in categories, brands, or products? So the process to get ungated is pretty simple. All you need to do is buy 10, or now in some cases for some products, you need to buy up to 100 units of that product that you want to get ungated for from a wholesale supplier, so you can get an invoice. An invoice looks like this. A receipt looks like, let me find it. There you go. A receipt will look like this. This is from Popeyes, by the way. I was eating on lunch, but this is what a receipt looks like, and this is what an invoice looks like. Once you receive the invoice, you're going to go to your Amazon seller account and you're going to try and add that product to your seller account. If you don't know how to add a product to your account, I've made a video on that as well. You can go check it out, but simply add it and it will say request approval. Click on that and then it will open up an application form. In the application, it will simply ask you to upload an invoice, which states that you have at least purchased 10 or 100 units for that specific product based on the criteria that they have given. If they want 100 units, you need to purchase 100 units. If they're given 10 units, you need to purchase 10 units. That's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. And once you've uploaded it and submitted it, you should get approved within 72 hours. Some cases, you might not get approved and they will be like, oh, we have rejected you. The reason why they will do that is because it's actually a bot or a robot behind the scenes analyzing your application. It's not a real human. So all you want to do is reapply. And if you get rejected again, then sometimes what you can do is, if you have taken a picture and you uploaded it, maybe try scanning it. And if that doesn't work as well, then you can contact seller support. The next question is, do I need to be VAT registered to sell in the UK? No, you don't need to be VAT registered in order to sell in the UK. If you're selling from Europe and you want to sell in the UK, then yes, you need a VAT number. But if you're in the UK and you just want to start selling on Amazon, you don't need to be VAT registered. Mandatorily, you need to register for VAT once you reach the threshold, which is £85,000 in revenue in 12 months' time. If you don't hit that number, then you don't have to. Can you register by yourself for VAT before reaching that threshold? Yes, you can, but I don't recommend you do that, because one, you first just learn to sell on Amazon without having to VAT register and all of those things. Once you get to 85K, then you can think about getting VAT registered. How do I know if a supplier invoice will be accepted by Amazon? So technically, as long as the supplier you're buying from is a wholesale supplier, you will receive an invoice and that should be fine. But sometimes Amazon will just ask you for the supply chain. So you can go back to the supplier and ask them, hey, can you send me the supply chain? So where did they buy it from? And then once they send it, you can submit that. If Amazon does not accept that as well, then the way you ensure that the supplier you're buying from is actually authorized and Amazon should accept is you first contact the brand directly. So if I want to sell a Dettol product, I'm going to call Dettol directly and be like, hey, can you give me a list of your authorized wholesale distributors? Once you get a list, you know these are authorized distributors. So most of the times, these distributors / wholesalers will be accepted by Amazon when you try and get ungated. And another bonus question that I get asked a lot is that, just once I'm ungated for a product or a category, will Amazon ask me for an invoice for the next time I buy another product for that category or the brand? No, Amazon does not. Once you're ungated forever. Then Amazon will never ask you for any type of invoice unless they are concerned about the authenticity of the product, that it's a legit product or not. Only then they will ask you for kind of the invoice from the supplier and everything like that. Or else they do not ask you for anything. Can I use Costco, TK Maxx / retail store receipts for approval? Absolutely not. Costco, sometimes Amazon does accept it. You may contact Costco and ask them for an invoice and they may provide you with that as well. So that's the only wholesaler that Amazon may accept, but TK Maxx or any other retail receipts, it will not be accepted. As I said, if you have a receipt to get ungated, or if you upload it, you're never going to get ungated. Do I need an LLC, limited company, business license to sell? So if you're in the UK, all you need is, technically you don't even need a limited company. You can start selling as a sole trader, meaning under your name. You can then register for a limited company, which will cost you £50 in the UK, but that's pretty much it. You don't need any other sort of license or approval in order to start selling on Amazon. In the US, if you are going to sell as a business, you do need a business license. To get that, it's also pretty much easy that you can get once you're registered your company. So yeah. How much money do I need to start realistically in 2025? If you're starting arbitrage Amazon, which I don't recommend, you need around 250 to 300 pounds or dollars, which is where you buy products from a retail shop and then you sell it for a higher price on Amazon. So you buy discounted products from a retailer and you sell it for a profit on Amazon. If you're going to do wholesale Amazon, and this is what I recommend any beginner to start off with, in here you need around 1,000 to 3,000 pounds. If you have more, it's better, but 1,000 to 3,000 is more than enough. And then the last one is private label. If you're planning to launch your own product, like that one is one of my own products, for that you will need to spend at least, or have at least I would say anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 pounds, upwards of 10,000 pounds, depending on the type of product. So that's the range I would recommend. Next question is Amazon FBA still profitable after fees as in VAT? If it wasn't, why would I still be selling products on Amazon? Yes, it's more than profitable. Yes, it's 2025. The people who can't make a profit just haven't done Amazon for a long time and haven't taken it seriously. They just tried it because they wanted to get rich quick. I have all the stock that I sell on Amazon. Well, half, or not half, but like majority, I'm talking about at least over 3, 4, 5,000 units are already at Amazon's warehouse. This is some of the stock I hold here. The next question is, can I ship my products straight from the wholesaler to Amazon's warehouse? The answer is yes, you absolutely can. However, not all wholesalers will do that. In the UK especially, majority of the wholesalers will say, no, we don't ship directly to Amazon, but you can ask them, you can offer them that, hey, look, you don't have to pay any shipping, we will cover the shipping. Because either way, when you ship your product from your home to Amazon, you're gonna pay Amazon the shipping price anyway. So you might as well tell them, hey, we'll cover the shipping. So this way you don't have to pay for the shipping, and can you please ship it directly to Amazon? Now, personally, if you're just getting started, I recommend you get the stock to your home and then you ship it off to Amazon. So you can check the quality of the products and you can just make sure that the stock that you're buying from that supplier is actually good. The next question is, how do I apply label/barcode? Do I have to repack myself? Okay, so I'll try and explain this in detail. So if you're selling a single unit, so if you're just buying a Dettol bottle and you're selling that on Amazon, then you just get that Dettol product and then you just label it on that. For example, how we labeled this Amazon's barcode on it. You could use the manufacturer's barcode. So the barcode that comes on the Dettol bottle, you could use that as well. But I recommend using Amazon's barcode. This way Amazon knows that this product belongs to you, because when you use a manufacturer's barcode, they can't really track who the product belongs to. Obviously they will know you sent it, but in case your inventory gets lost and then they don't have a barcode to scan, they won't know who the product belongs to. So that's the reason why you might as well just label it. So that's the first thing. If you sell a single unit, do that. If you're selling a pack of 10, so this is what I have done. Inside this, there is 10 of these same products, and then I just seal that poly bag, and then I just put this label on it. So I don't have to individually label each product. Instead, I just put all of them in one poly bag and then just label it up. And you want to make sure that the poly bag does have the warning as well. The warning is, to avoid danger or suffocation, keep this wrapper away from babies and children. It's a warning that you should find on majority of the poly bags. If it's not on that, then make sure you check that. The next question is, can Amazon handle all the packaging and labeling for me? The answer is yes, absolutely. Amazon can do that for you, but they will charge you for that. I think the current cost is around 35p per unit if you want them to label it. And obviously if you want them to pack and prep it for you as well, then that would be additional cost. So if your profit margins are as good, then obviously you can choose to, but if it isn't, then you might as well do it yourself. What's the difference between wholesale Amazon and private label Amazon? So with wholesale Amazon, you're selling name brand products. For example, this tea, the tea bag, right, which is the Yorkshire tea. This is a name brand product that sells across the UK. This is what you're going to do, is you're going to buy this at bulk price and then you're going to sell at the retail price on Amazon. So that's wholesale Amazon. In private label Amazon, instead of selling Yorkshire tea, you're going to sell your own tea and you're going to private label that for yourself and you're going to sell it under your own listing. So that's the kind of difference. The reason why this is easier, starting with wholesale is easier, is because you're buying brand name products, so you don't have to manufacture your own product, you don't have to do the branding or the listing creation and everything, or even run any ads. You're just taking the demand of this product that people are already buying, and then you're just making sales basically. By the way, before we move to the next question, if you are looking to build a profitable Amazon business and you want one-on-one mentorship for that, and you want my personal help, then you can go check the link in the description now. You'll find more information about that right there. So let's move on to the next question. How do I find reliable suppliers? Go to Google, type in the product name. So let's say I was looking for a supplier that sells the Yorkshire tea. I'm going to type in Yorkshire tea space Wholesale UK or Distributor UK. That's it. And now Google is going to provide me a list of suppliers that stock this. And you can also if you don't find this on any suppliers, just type in what type of product this is. So this is a tea. So you can write tea wholesalers UK. And then you will find a lot of wholesalers that stock tea. If they don't have this specific brand, you can call them up and be like, hey, I'm looking for this specific product. Do you stock this? And if they don't stock it, you ask them, can you source it for me? And most likely they will, because they want to make money as long as you're going to make a large order from them. The next question is, how do I handle taxes if I live in one country and sell in another country? Look, I'm not going to answer this question in detail because you might as well get an accountant who can handle all of this for you, because remember, your job as a seller is to focus on making money on Amazon, not handling all the accounting related stuff like taxes. At the start, if you have not made a lot of money, you don't even have to worry about taxes, because first make some money and then you can figure it out. Because if you did make some money, this question that you have asked should have been already answered, because you would have gone out and looked for an accountant who can help you in this already. Can I register as an individual without creating a company? The answer is yes. I did answer this briefly before. You can absolutely start as an individual. However, when you do start selling as an individual, Amazon thinks that you're just selling few products here and there. You're not doing Amazon for making a profit. So once they do find that out, they will tell you, hey, look, you will need to either upgrade as a sole trader, or you need to go create a company, or else they will just suspend your Amazon account. So make sure you do set up as a sole trader or a limited company if you're gonna do it for the long term. What's the minimum ROI or margin before launching the product? My answer to that is focus on minimum 30% ROI, 30, when doing wholesale. Your margins will be anywhere from 15 to 20%. Yes, you might be thinking, that's pretty low. Well, in e-com, even 10% margin is really good. And just to give you some knowledge and context to how good 30% ROI is, the money you save in your bank account is around 1% return on the investment you're getting, or less than 1%. In here, you can get up to 30% return on investment on your money. And if you don't know what ROI is basically return on your investment. If I spend £10 and in return, in total, I get £15 back, then I just made 50% return on my investment. That's how basically return on investment works. How do I deal with competition? So when you start doing Amazon wholesale, you're going to have competitors on the same listing, which is a bit harder because now you will have to split the amount of sales you will make across multiple sellers. But when you focus on finding products that have less sales and less sellers, you won't really have to worry about dealing with a lot of competition. So I personally recommend, rather than looking for one product that makes 1,000 sales, look for 10 products, each making 100 sales. Because on those listings, there's going to be less number of sellers, and meaning less competition, which means you will split the buy box with small amount of sellers, make more money. And because you have 10 different products rather than just one, if one of these products from your 10 decides to stop making you sales, you still have 9 more. Whereas going for one good product with 1,000 sales means if that product stops making you money, you're out of business. The next question is the most common question: is Amazon UK/US oversaturated? Now, a lot of people confuse competition with saturation. There is no such thing as saturation, but there is such thing as competition, which I just answered the question of how you deal with competition. Saturation is when no one is making money. But Amazon is a $1 trillion company. Over 300 million Amazon Prime customers, right, shop on Amazon. And there's only 2 million active sellers. I think around 2 million active sellers. In total, there's 9 million, but in total, I think there's 2 million active sellers. So look at the ratio of the number of customers coming on Amazon to buy and the number of sellers. And a lot of sellers who come on Amazon actually don't stick around for long. So if you just have the discipline to stick to Amazon for at least 12 months, 2 years, you are already in part of that 1% people who actually are going to make it work with Amazon. The next question is, do I need to buy GS1 barcodes or I can use the cheaper ones? So this question is related to private label and not really with wholesale, but I will still answer it. I recommend you go with GS1 barcode because it's the legit and the actual official site that you will be able to get your UPC from. If you go from the cheaper ones, then in the future, if Amazon does ask you for a certificate for that, you're done. Your listing will be eventually removed. So I would recommend go for a GS1 barcode, even though it's slightly more expensive. The last question is, can you show me step-by-step process of from buying to listing to selling a product? The answer is yes, absolutely I can. I may make a whole video on its own for it, but in the meantime, if you do wanna watch how I list a product, then I made a video on that. If you wanna learn how to ship a product, I made that video on that. And for making a sale, technically, I've never made it because who would want to see just a video of me waiting on a screen to see a sale. But if you want me to make a whole video, I can absolutely do that. I hope you found this video useful. If any of your questions were left unanswered, as I said, leave them in the description, or not description, in the comment section below. And in the next part of this video series, I will go ahead and answer it. So thank you so much for watching it. If you did find any value and you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn the bell on for more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.